Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line, who will be competing for the Eternal Lightweight Championship June 10th in Perth, Eternal 76, is title challenger Quillan Sourkild. Mate, welcome.
Hello, Mitchell. It's good to see you.
Mate, finally, this has been such a long journey for you. I would say close to 30, 40 combat fights, including like jiu-jitsu, boxing, all of that sort of stuff in perhaps is it 4 years?
It's been 5 years now.
5.
Yeah.
And
from,
now you're
from my first session ever.
Yeah, and now you're fighting for the biggest title in Australian MMA on the regional scene. How does that feel to finally get that opportunity?
Oh yeah, feels great. I knew that sooner or later that this opportunity would come by. Just glad that it's happening sooner.
Blake Donnelly, first of all, amazing display against David Martinez. But I've got to ask you, man, because everyone knows that you and your teammate Cody Haddon, you've always been deemed as the future Luestro Combat Academy. It's just amazing, right? And you finally get this title, which everyone thought you were eventually going to get. But I've got to ask you, and I'd be remiss if I didn't. Do you think you've fought enough caliber of an opponent to warrant a title shot?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was expecting 1 or 2 more fights before I get the shot. Yeah. And then when I got the call up, I was surprised, but I was at the same time, ecstatic. So look, to me, maybe I haven't fought the caliber to get the shot in a traditional sense, but I know my skill set right now. I know I'm ready for that shot, and I'm ready to take over and be the new champion.
Yeah, because that's not to say that, like, if anything, I really do think you can reach the heights of the heights in this sport. But I really thought you were going to get maybe like a David Martinez, perhaps maybe even a Tom Nolan and Aiden Aguilera before you got this fight. Was that floated to you at all, or?
Yeah, that definitely did float. Yes, I thought I was going to get one of them, but I guess I'll just have to defend the belt against them instead.
Now, like you said, you were getting ready for like 1 or 2 more fights before the title fight. Now that it's in front of you, is it fast tracking anything? Are you like, oh crap, we've got to do this training camp now? Is it business as usual?
No, it's just business as usual.
And run us through business as usual, because you always have like a very unique schedule. Run everyone through who trains or might not have trained, what your daily and weekly schedule looks like.
Oh, well, to make it simple, it's I got a morning and night training session Monday through to Friday, and then Saturday just the one session, and then on a Sunday it's day off, recovery day.
So you basically you've been full-time for 5 years.
Pretty much, yes.
And parents helping you out, Centrelink helping you out. How?
And the parents, they're real supportive. I'm real fortunate to have them.
Now, 23 now?
Yes, I'm 23.
Is this fitting all into like your 5-year plan? Did you have a long-term plan?
I didn't really have like any like short-term plans. It was just keep fighting and keep gaining experience, and the ultimate plan is obviously the UFC.
Yeah, and how? Say you win this title against a really, really tough Blake Donnelly. How far away do you think you are from a shot for the UFC?
I'm thinking after this fight, four more fights, and then I'd probably get a shot on the Contender Series. I think that's a good timeline to have.
And do you want to go through like a Contender Series, or would you like to be, fully booked?
Doesn't matter to me. Anyway, any road there I'll take.
Now, you fought on Eternal a fair bit. Are there any other promotions around Australia that you wish you got a shot at, or does it really not bother you?
Doesn't really bother me, to be honest. Yeah, just any platform that will take me on is a good one.
And have you had any doubts throughout this 5 years? Like you had the early loss. Obviously, you dominated in amateur. I think you were 9-3 in amateur, and doing well in other combat sports as well. And then you get your first pro, and you lose to Pablo Torrealba, who's amazing in jiu-jitsu, but realistically, not an MMA fighter, not continuing his MMA career. Talk us through that loss. Like, what did it do to you mentally?
Oh yeah, it hurt a lot. Took a while to recover from that. The sting, lasted quite a while. Honestly, up until I got my my first win like 6 months later. So I didn't really have any doubts. So I just knew I made a mistake in that fight. I knew I'd come back from that for sure.
And what was one of the main mistakes in that fight? I know it's such a long time ago, but was it engaging in the grappling, or were you happy to do that?
Yeah, just engaging in his strengths, because I knew he had pretty much one path to victory, and I give him many opportunities in that area, and then he finally took the opportunity and then got the job done.
Well, I think this is where you've actually won a lot of fans, is the fact that like you went to the ground with one of the best guys in the state and one of the best MMA grapplers that we've got, just of how he puts it together. And then even against Nico Fleses, your next fight where you needed a victory, he was a guy that's had like 15 fights, and you stood and banged with him, and there was nearly a double knockdown. Double knockout. There was a double knockdown. Like, what's going through your head in that fight? Was there pressure to get that Nico win?
Yeah, definitely was. Yeah, I knew that if I took another loss to that Nico win, that on that Nico fight, who knows where we'd be. I knew it was dire to get my hand raised that night.
And now we move on to, the crescendo of the Eternal Lightweight Championship fight. What is it about Blake Donnelly's game that either concerns you or that you think you can take advantage of? Because the grappling from Martinez, he survived, and then obviously put it on him and won by doctor stoppage. But is there anything that stands out to him that you've got to be concerned with?
Yeah, he's got good traditional boxing. He's nice and long with the hands. He can get quite creative sometimes, and he definitely has the experience, so he knows how to pace himself, when to push and when not to.
And where do you think that you can really put the pressure on him?
I think I can put the pressure on him, everywhere. I know that, with my timing, I'll be able to get and secure takedowns. I'll be able to, land strikes on him. I think it's just going to be another masterclass on my end.
And if you can talk us through how instrumental your head coach Romel Luestro has been in your career and even in this camp.
Yeah, he's my number one. Without him, no way I'd be here. I'm always say I'm so lucky and so fortunate to have met him 5 years ago, and I've been just following him around like a puppy dog ever since. So yeah, he's been pivotal.
And you were his almost only fighter in the early on. He didn't have a name. When now guys are coming from different gyms to train with you guys. You got likes of Cody Haddon, yourself, James Plodner. Like, there's really, really good guys that train. Matt King, who just won in Bali, like who's from Kalsok. Muay Thai was amazing there. It's like they're all coming together to train with Romel. But you trained with him so early on. What was it about him that drew you towards him?
At the start, his personality is great. He was very welcoming of me. Like, I remember one night, like, I haven't known him long, but I went to I think it was the last Hex show in Perth, like ages ago. And then I pretty much met him there. I only met him like a few times. I did a few sessions with him. And,
was this 5 years ago?
Yeah, this was 5 years ago. Yeah,
you would have been like 10.
Fresh 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then ever since then he just took me under his wing. He just grabbed me at the show, and I just followed him around, and then he was just talking about MMA all night, see how passionate he was, and then through all the sessions I really seen he was like a step above like any other coaches that I've trained with.
So even though he didn't have necessarily like that team behind him, and he had the Jones brothers, but like it's not like he wasn't this like standout coach. How like you have like a Vickers now who has like a Jack Della or something. It didn't. Was there like an actual thing he said to you? Was there anything that really you went, man, this is going to be my coach?
No, I kind of just knew. I know. I think he just has that aura around him. Like, I can't really explain it, but just the way he talks about MMA, you just know that he's the guy to go to.
I mean, I think I even have the story of where he made it through the ridiculous tryouts with Brian Ebersol, which is Steve Kennedy, who fought in the UFC as well, has talked about those where they were just stupid. My cousin was in that as well, Isaac Tisdale, who's a former lightweight champion at Eternal. Yeah, and they were just like rounds and rounds and rounds until he threw up, and then he kept going. So it's like he's a tough guy, even though he's MMA like performance record, it doesn't sort of ring out to people. He's been around the sport for a very long time. Also, fun fact, he's also the first guy to ever wrist lock me when I was a white belt at Fitness and Fight Center in Northbridge. So yeah.
Of course.
Now, speaking of him, I just want to touch on, were you around when the infamous Vigilante Act happened, where Ramel stopped, where you guys tracked down the guy that was breaking into cars?
No, I actually wasn't. I wasn't at the gym. The one day I wasn't at the gym, that happened. Can't remember. I think I was injured, I think. Because there was no other reason I'd not be at the gym. But when I heard about that, I was quite disappointed that I wasn't there to be around. Yeah.
Give us that quick rundown for anyone that wasn't around. What exactly happened?
Yeah, well, one of our fighters from the gym, got his car broken into and got his he got some valuables pretty much taken out from there, and his wallet as well. And then when we found out, I think the guy Wongi, I think he seen some on his phone, some notifications of it. I think his card's being used, at the Belmont Forum. So everyone, got together. The whole gym just went down to the Belmont Forum and ended up finding the dude. He was wearing Wongi's the man bag. Yeah. He was wearing it and it was trying to plead his innocence, and it was it was obvious. And then Ramel stepped in and did his thing.
Wrestled him down. Yeah. Which is you gotta love that too, because it's like, guys, this is how it works in real life too. It's not just a sport. Self-defense. Love it. Now, mate, before I let you go, because I'm super excited for this title fight, because it's well deserved from you in terms of just what you put into the sport. And I know that I've mentioned the caliber of guys you've fought, but you've still fought everyone that's ever been put in front of you, and you've worked extremely hard. So I don't want to take that away from you, but what can we expect from you in this fight? Do you have a prediction, or how is this going to go against Blake Donnelly?
Just going to expect a silky smooth performance. I want to keep everything nice and clean and make everything look pretty.
And finally, mate, before I let you go, final question. After it's all said and done, how does Quillan Salkiel want to be remembered in mixed martial arts?
I just want to be remembered as one of the greats.
Nice, mate. I really appreciate the time. You've got a huge future, and I'm glad that it's being fast-tracked. So congratulations, mate, and look forward to chatting to you with the belt.
Thank you, Mitchell.
See you later, brother.